65-17, the Elroys beat the shit out of Red Grant. Now you trying to be my friend talking about good game. Fuck you, nigga. Ain't no good game. Get the fuck out my face, nigga.
You know, guys, here in the Call of Duty community, there has always been one person in all of Call of Duty and all of Activision that everybody has almost unanimously decided was a fat, disgusting, heaping pile of garbage. Like, this is like that one area that I think most people would actually agree, like, yeah, this guy right here, fuck that guy. It doesn't matter if I'm ranting, it doesn't matter if I'm the hate channel out here or rage baiting for views, even though nobody's getting views on COD right now. When you talk about this one guy, everybody's got the same reaction. Bobby Cosby, fuck you, and eat my ballsack.
Now listen!
I felt the need to get that out of the way because today, unfortunately, we are mentioning him quite a few times because he's actually had like this interview thing where he got to talk about his time at Activision and some of the changes that have been going on with Xbox and Microsoft and seeing how that whole deal went down when they purchased Activision. So there's quite a few things that we got to talk about, but of course, back in the day when this first happened, a lot of people thought that this was going to save Call of Duty. Did that happen? Well, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, this is the time to do it because the answer is very obvious. Fuck! No! That's always the fucking worst part about this shit, man. But before I get into it, guys, you already know what to do. Please, for my lungs' sake, leave a fucking like today, you know what I'm saying? And also, I need you to subscribe, alright? We're still on the way to 50,000 subscribers. Down in the comments below, you know what to do. Hashtag Fooly50. Let's get this bitch going. Guys, this tweet comes out from Scatmaster Charles. He comes out here and says, former Activision CEO Bobby Cosby also says Microsoft has not changed much at Activision and Blizzard since the deal closed, but there's no corporate infrastructure anymore, so it's back to all studios. And in quotes, people seem pretty happy. That's what I hear.
Cap.
I'm gonna be the one to say it. Whoever told Bobby Cosby that the workers are happy. Look, man, just keeping it a buck. It doesn't fucking seem like that, man. It really does not seem like that. As a matter of fact, it might seem like people are in spite of everybody. Like, these people might have more hate in their hearts than what some gooch lookers think the Scatmaster has in his heart. Not in a million years could I ever imagine somebody who has true happiness in their hearts developing a game like Black Ops 6. Okay, let's keep it honest. If you love your life, if you love the people around you, Black Ops 6 is not your production, man. That is not some shit you produce. You know what produces a game like Black Ops 6? Useless, stupid, fat, retarded baboons. That's the type of shit that will produce a game like Black Ops 6 and Warzone. But aside from that, there's a very important message here where he says that not much has changed at Activision since this whole thing went down. And this ties back into what people were saying before Microsoft purchased them, was that Microsoft was gonna save Call of Duty. Microsoft was gonna save COD, and every single problem that we used to have with Call of Duty was on Activision, and now Microsoft is in charge, and they're gonna get rid of things like SBMM, the whole seasonal content and microtransaction system. All that shit was gone, and we're gonna go back to what games were about. That's what I heard a lot of people talking about. Now, the Scatmaster has been sitting back quietly. Well, I guess I'm never really quiet. And has been waiting for this shit to be announced, that this thing has been a fucking failure, and of course, nobody has said it yet. But when you look at shit like this, where their own old CEO, that fat scumbag sack of dog shit, Bobby Cosby, comes out here and says, yeah, it doesn't seem like much has changed since then, and we still have all of these issues in Black Ops 6. Yeah, to me it sounds like that Microsoft deal really did jack shit. But worry not, guys, there is more when it comes to this whole Microsoft Game Pass model that Call of Duty and Activision and Microsoft have been working with. This is another tweet that comes out of Charlie Intel. He says, former Activision CEO Bobby Causby says the Microsoft Activision deal was negotiated in 3 days, but that there is disagreement over Xbox Game Pass subscription model. Bobby Causby still insists the Game Pass model is not going to work long term, but says Microsoft can take these big bets. Now guys, if I haven't made it clear already, I am not a fan of Bobby Causby. Never have been, never will be. I think I'd rather die 3 times in a fucking row back to back to back before having a conversation one-on-one with Bobby Causby where I'm not allowed to curse his ass out or call him a stupid retarded baboon. So it pains me to say that despite how horrible of a human being this sack of dog shit really is, and I mean this past the entire Activision thing, like if you look into his lore, Bobby Causby is actually a rancid human being. But despite all of that, all of the horrible nonsense that this man has been involved with, one thing is for certain, and I hate to admit this, but this guy knows how to make a successful game that will get him money. Sorry. Not saying the game is good, and by successful game I don't mean that the game is the best performing game of all time and has the highest ratings. No, I mean like it'll chart. It'll be like the #1 game, and they're going to generate a ridiculous, nonsensical amount of fucking money for it. And of course, the gooch slickers out there, they probably champion this guy, so let me just say this right now. Get his fucking nutsack away from your uvula, and come back to reality for a second. This guy knows what is successful versus unsuccessful in terms of what CEOs really want. So for him to say that this Activision Microsoft thing with the entire Game Pass model is not going to work, in the long term, a lot of shit really starts making sense, because when you look at the popularity of Call of Duty over time, and when you talk about sales specifically and copies sold, again, unless you're on the short bus and you're like slobbering at the mouth at the sight of Bobby Causby, I think we all know that Call of Duty is falling off in copies sold, because with Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass, you don't actually need to purchase it. Switching over to a subscription model might not be the way to go for Call of Duty right now. Maybe in the future, who knows, but clearly, when a vast majority of your community is on one platform that does not allow that, and then we have another platform, arguably a less popular platform like Xbox, getting this whole thing where you don't actually need to purchase it, I would assume it starts throwing some shit off for Activision. And if they're really losing sight of how many copies are being sold, how are they generating revenue? Where do you think that money comes into play? That's right, it comes in the form of microtransactions and bundles.
Would you like to fuck me? Is that what this is?
So, where am I getting at with this? The more they stop caring about copies sold, which is evident because the copies sold has decreased year after year after year, and now that we're kind of switching over to a subscription model, they're no longer making as much money from copies sold. They're making a large majority of their money from the microtransactions and bundles in this game. That's why we have stupid shit like event passes. That's why we have stupid shit like 3 different versions of the same fucking battle pass. That's why we have all these Special Olympic events with the Squid Games, and then there's the Terminator, and now we're about to get the Ninja Turtles. You see, you might think I'm out here rage baiting, and if you think that, listen man, 1 cock, 2 balls, I can see all 3 of them are in your mouth, get them all the fuck out of there. But it's really not a reach to say that Activision doesn't care about their copies sold anymore. And now that shit is changing around, they're really prioritizing microtransactions post-launch, and as we've seen time and time again, year after year, if you need this to be re-explained to you, here you go. They give less of a shit about the development and quality of the game, especially post-launch, because they're making a significant amount of money, to the point that they're satisfied with the state of the game. They don't really need to waste resources or money updating the game, fixing the game, overhauling shit. They don't really need to do that if they're getting all of their money already. And it brings us to this argument that I've talked about multiple times, but I kind of have to bring it up because there's still people out there that really think that content creators like myself are the reason why Call of Duty is in the dog shit state that it's in.
Uh-oh, retard alert!
As if it's my fault that Call of Duty sucks. You think it's my fault because I cover the game and I talk shit. Again, a lot of these pencil dick gaped content creators out here that are spewing this nonsense, it's either that or they have fucking dementia. They're choosing to keep our fucking names in their mouths because their content sucks absolute fucking cock, alright? Let's just keep it a buck. Alright, I'm not trying to hate, I'm just trying to state facts. And the fact of the matter is, their content licks fucking ball-lint. Anyways though, that's besides the point. Guys, Call of Duty and this Microsoft thing, it has utterly failed. It is not doing anything for the Call of Duty community. It might be doing something revenue-wise for Activision, although I still think they might be earning a little bit less, especially since Call of Duty is not entirely on a subscription-based model yet. But in the future, if that continues to be the case and we switch over to a subscription-based model, or even if Call of Duty just goes completely free to play, you know, I used to champion for that. I used to actually want Call of Duty to be free to play. But the more I think about it, if Activision, no matter who has purchased them, is still looking at the bottom line that they just need money, and if that money is gonna come in the form of microtransactions, and again, I gotta reiterate it, the more microtransactions there are in the game, the less of a fuck they give about the quality of the game or the state of the game. And right now, Call of Duty is arguably in one of the worst states it's ever been in, and yet I can still guarantee that they're making significantly more money this year than they did last year with MW 2019 Part 3. And it needs to be said, man, Call of Duty has failed in so many different ways, but they're not failing in terms of the name Call of Duty, because that name is always going to sell. They are failing their community that doesn't necessarily always purchase a microtransaction or purchases BLACKCELL or the new event pass for whatever fucking special Olympic event is going on. At the end of the day, the people they are failing are the people that have been here the longest. Anybody that's been here since the golden era, then you experienced Call of Duty in a state where, comparatively speaking, we used to have it so much better back then than we do now. Call of Duty has failed us, it's failed the community, they failed themselves, but their end-all goal is to simply make more money. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all this. What are your thoughts on the Activision Microsoft acquisition, and do you think this succeeded? Do you think it failed? And when it comes to the state of Call of Duty, where do you see it going, man? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos. And yeah, guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.
This ain't in my body.